Good afternoon, this is Kevin, Florida man abroad. I'm in Qingdao in Shandong province, and here and in Henan next door is where most of the factories are that make the very heavy agriculture, mining, and construction equipment. So that's why I live here, and that's why my company has an office here. Companies that sell any manufactured products could very easily copy what we do, and they can use what's called the push-pull method to completely reinvent their businesses. Many expats, many foreigners who live and work here, work for companies or own companies that do exactly what I'm doing, which is they set up an office in China nearby factories that produce the products that are sold by their company around the world. And doing so makes it pretty simple to execute what's called a push-pull management system. The push-pull system is also called the Dell push-pull. Dell Computer was the most recent major company to do this really, really well. You could say that Sears Roebuck in their early catalog days, they were one of the first major companies to really do it. But Dell Computer did this strategy and became the fastest growing company in world history up to that time. And in order to understand how it goes, imagine two buyers of a computer. There's a guy like me, a middle-aged guy who wants to use the computer for business applications. So on his machine, on my machine, I want to have Microsoft Office, the spreadsheets, the word processor, the data management tools maybe, the emails, and lots of security. Compare that to a gamer, a younger guy who's going to use it to play video games. He wants his computer to be fast graphics, fast short-term memory or RAM, good sound card, good headphones, and the VR system maybe that you wear around your head. He wants the machine for that purpose. You also might have a creative who's using it for Adobe Photoshop and making presentations and videos and things. What Dell realized is that these different buyers rather, are buying the same machine. The machine itself, the computer, is similar in 90% of the ways. There's just small differences in the motherboard. And that is a perfect recipe for what's called the push-pull system. Push comes from the manufacturer. So the manufacturer of product is pushing to the market equipment or machines or products that are pretty standard in almost every way. About 90% of all the products are the same. The 10% or 20% are the options that are added by the individual buyers. So in this case, the 20% difference between me and the gamer is the tiny differences in the machines that we're going to be using them for. What Dell realized is that these individual buyers aren't really individuals. They represent markets. They represent millions of people who are using it for business, and millions of people using it for games, and millions of people using it for business presentations and creative industry. If you're in a business where you are selling manufactured product through a store, or you're in a business where you're considering selling manufactured product, this is a good way you can reinvent your business by sending somebody or coming yourself to China and setting up right next to the factories that make it. First thing what you need is a very strong vendor relationships. You need to have a good relationship with the factories that are producing it. And if you have a physical location that's nearby, if you're an office that works with the factory and have somebody who can visit occasionally, that makes for a really strong relationship. So if you are here physically, That's one thing you need to execute this business model. Second thing is you need to have a direct to consumer or direct to buyer business plan. You have to be able to manufacture equipment and deliver it directly to the buyer without stores. This was a huge advantage Dell had with respect to cost. At the time, they were up against IBM and Compaq and Gateway Computer and Toshiba and Radio Shack. There were a lot of other computer companies that had stores, and Dell was going directly to the buyer. That means they did not have to pay rent for those stores. They don't have to pay salaries to their employees working at the store. They don't have to pay sales commissions to salespeople who sell computer equipment. They don't have to pay utilities or insurance or property taxes. So if you have a business where you can sell directly to the customer the products that are coming out of the factories here, you have a very good chance of making a lot of money by cutting out the retail and wholesale operations. You also have low inventory counts. If you have a store, you have to have inventory on hand that customers can buy when they walk into the store. Otherwise, they'll buy from someone else. But if you have the push-pull model and you're executing it well, the customers will understand that you manufacture it as they need it. And this is a big advantage too, because almost every store has a problem with obsolescence. That is, the value of something sitting in a store drops over weeks and months as new models, new products get introduced. This is especially true in computers, where computers are always getting faster and the memory is always getting cheaper. But it's also true in clothing and in food and in almost everything you buy. People would prefer to have the newer model. And if you have to have a store that shows it, that gets expensive. The obsolescence problem is very real. And Dell Computer and other companies that do the just-in-time manufacturing under part of the push-pull model means they don't have that problem, ever. And if you have low inventory counts, you don't have to finance inventory. So your inventory costs drop to zero too. The final ingredient you need is a strong end user support system. Customers need to know that when they order this product from you, if there's anything wrong, there is a warranty that you can provide. You can send repairmen out to fix, or you can have replacement parts sent out. You likely already do that anyway if you're in the retail operations, okay? So these are 4 ingredients that you need. You have to have strong vendor relationships. You have to be direct to the buyer. You have to have low inventory counts, and you need a strong end user system that you can help the customer whenever there's a problem after the sale. If you have those things, or you can build them, the profit potential is much, much larger than if you're using a regular retail model, especially if you're dealing with China factories. You can come here, like hundreds of people that I know, and your company can set up an office next to a group of factories that manufacture the things that you want to sell to the world market. Your cost of living will drop a lot, the cost of sales will drop a lot, and all those profits you can either pass along to end customers or keep for yourself. Something to think about. Thanks for listening. Be good.